Hello, everyone. Today, I'll present the result of my final thesis, which is titled The Impact of Marketing Through Social Media Influencers on Consumer Buying Behavior in the Fashion Industry. This study is focusing on the Generation Z in Indonesia. So first of all, my name is Alyssa Putri. I'm Indonesian and currently an undergraduate student at Institute Technology of Bandung, majoring in international business, and at Trans School of Business, majoring in sales and marketing. Here are the contents that we will be covering today, starting with the introduction, literature reviews, framework, hypothesis, methodology, results, conclusions, and recommendations. The era of digital technology development began to stretch throughout the decade and had a significant impact on our lives. It can be seen that almost all aspects of human beings are already connected to digital platforms, which is the sector that receives considerable impact related to marketing. Business marketing activities have shifted from conventional marketing using mass media to using various social media platforms. The rise of buying and selling activities can be caused by various factors, one of which is the distribution of branding content through social media influencers, or SMI. In this current era of the Industrial Revolution, anyone has the opportunity to influence many people. They have the possibility to get and become the center of attention of the crowd. Based on the survey by Buka Review on 100 Indonesian women aged 17 to 31 years who actively use Instagram as their main social media, 88.2% of them actually follow at least one Instagram fashion influencer account. Almost half of the respondents were also influenced to buy goods promoted by influencers. According to 51 respondents, the reason they buy products promoted by influencers is due to their desire to find clothing inspiration. Another research conducted by Malinda et al. In 2020 also found that in 2018, the largest internet users in Indonesia came from Generation Z, age 15 to 17 years, for about 33.7%. And one of the first autonomous products purchased by this generation was clothing. Fashion has become one of the largest contributors to Indonesia's foreign exchange in recent years. According to the 2016 economic census, the fashion industry is in second place in terms of the number of creative economy business or companies, with around 15.1%. According to CNBC Indonesia, the fashion industry contributes around 116 trillion rupiahs, which comes up into two research questions. First is, how does social media influencers marketing influence consumer buying behavior towards fashion products of Generation Z in Indonesia? And second is, how effective marketing fashion products through social media influencers to target Generation Z. The conceptual framework of this research is based on these 3 points. First, the proposed conceptual model is largely based on Lim et al. Perceived credibility is often used to measure the effectiveness of SMI's marketing. Second, perceived authenticity as suggested by a study conducted by Putri et al. Third, a study demonstrated by Erkan et al. Suggests that one of the major elements affecting buying behavior is the perceived value. According to the figure on the screen, the expectation is the respondents' reaction to the attributes owned by social media influencers and their impact on buying behavior. So there are 3 hypotheses. Hypothesis 1, there is positive relationship between perceived credibility towards buying behavior. Hypothesis 2, there is a positive relationship between perceived authenticity towards buying behavior. And hypothesis three, there is a positive relationship between perceived value towards buying behavior. Next, we are going to discuss about the research design and methodology of the study. As you can see on the left is the research flowchart. So basically the author used positivism as the research design philosophy. According to Pam in 2018, this paradigm assists positivist researchers in clearly understanding the objects using empirical tests and methodologies such as sampling, testing, questionnaires, or focus group discussions. The research approach used in this study is quantitative. As described by Beth, a quantitative approach is systematic analysis or phenomena using quantifiable data, statistical application, mathematical or computational methods. And the researcher used questionnaires to collect the data by providing organized questions to 100 samples to obtain certain data and required data collection. Samples were taken from Generation Z who lived in Indonesia. The researcher used the Likert-Rensis model to measure the level of agreement from the respondents towards the questions given. This scale allows the respondent to choose any response in either directions in a reasonable and symmetrical manner, according to Joshi. Likert scales may measure more than just assertions of agreements. They can also assess frequency, quality, significance, and likelihood, among other things. In this study, the author used BLS SEM analysis to process the research data with smart BLS software. BLS, or partial least squares, is a sort of statistical analysis that is comparable to SEM in covariance analysis according to GSMA. The core framework of in PLS is built on linear regression, which is comparable to SEM. Partial least squares may assess continuously constructions generated by reflexive and informative indicators, which the structural equation model or SEM cannot, since the unidentifiable model will occur. Now we move on to the finding and discussion part of this research. So as you can see, this is the overview of research respondents profiles. This research drew on the number of responses as many as 100 people who are Generation Z. The pie chart indicates that there are more female respondents than male respondents. There were 44% of male and 56% of women. While for the occasion, we can see that the majority of the respondents are college students, which counts for 33%, followed by high school students for 26%. Private employees as many as 17%, civil servants as many as 12%, and entrepreneurs as many as 12%. According to the graph, the majority of the people responded that they have seen a fashion product promoted by SMIs before, which counts for about 91%. On the other hand, about 9% responded that they might have seen a fashion product promoted by SMIs before. But on top of that, none of the respondents had never seen such a promotion. Moving on to purchasing frequency. Based on the research, there are 24 respondents who answered less than 3. Another 47 respondents answered 3 to 10. And about 29 respondents has purchased a fashion product through social media influencer promotions. Next is the finding from Smart PLS. After working through each stage of the SMART PLS that I have explained earlier, we arrive at the last stage, which is hypothesis analysis. So hypothesis one, which is there is a positive relationship between perceived credibility towards buying behavior. The findings of hypothesis one shows that the relationships between perceived credibility has p-value for 0.40, which is less than 0.1, implying that perceived credibility has a positive impact towards buying behavior, indicating that hypothesis one is true or accepted. Hypothesis two, there is a positive relationship between perceived authenticity towards buying behavior. Hypothesis two shows that the relationship between perceived authenticity towards buying behavior has p-value of 0.021, less than 0.1, implying that it has a positive impact, which is according to the hypothesis, this is accepted. Hypothesis three, there is a positive relationship between perceived value towards buying behavior. In this hypothesis, it is found that the relationship between perceived value towards buying behavior has a p-value of 0.039, which is less than 0.1. This can be inferred that perceived value has a positive impact, indicating this hypothesis is correct. In conclusion, social media influencers have taken on a significant role on marketing strategies in the fashion industry amongst Generation Z in Indonesia. From the survey that has been conducted specifically for this research, found that not only Generation Z become tempted to shop, but also often follow the fashion brands promoted by SMIs. The research concludes that elements such as credibility, authenticity, and values are proven to have a positive impact on buying behavior. This makes these elements even more important for a social media influencer to have. So regardless of the positive results and valid numbers from this study, there are still many things that need to be improved for further studies. The next researcher can use even more variables to test buying behavior so that the results of their research are even more accurate. Three instruments that are studied in this research prove that they have a positive relationship with consumer buying behavior in the fashion industry. Hence, the author recommends social media influencers to take this matter seriously by being credible, authentic, and have a strong value to share to their followers. That's all from me. Thank you so much and have a great day.